fascinating new art exhibit opens next month at the Drawing Center in New York City called All in One.
This is going to be a good one. It will showcase the amazing work of award-winning illustrator and author Tomi Ungerer. And here to give us the details is the curator, Gilman. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome.
Welcome, yes. Now, this is actually Tomi Ungerer's first U.S. retrospective. Talk to us about why now was the right time for this.
Yes, it is indeed his first retrospective in the U.S. He is quite very well known in Europe, yes. But unfortunately he has not gotten the attention in the museum world that he deserves in the U.S.
Why is that? Yeah. Why not here in America?
Well, he was very active in New York. He actually lived in New York in the 60s and 70s. Yes. And then, in fact, a sort of scandalous situation arose where he is very best known for children's books that he produced in the 60s and 70s. As it turns out, at the same time as he was making those children's books, he was also producing erotic drawings, which he has been making throughout his career. The children's book establishment at the time could not accept the fact that someone could be making work for children and erotic drawings at the same time.
Yes, in this way.
When it sort of came to light that he was doing this, a lot of the libraries began banning his books. And Tomi, sort of, unwilling to kind of deal with this, did not sort of give in, but instead essentially self-exiled himself to Canada, where he lived for 3 years, then went from there to Ireland, and really just sort of removed himself a little bit from the U.S. But he maintained a very strong following here, and I think we are now in a position to sort of to understand and actually embrace people that are working in multiple genres.
Yeah, people are over that now.
People are over that. Yes, yes.
So explain to us this exhibit, All in One.
Yes.
What can we look for in All in One?
You can look for a whole lot of things, and so the title is really, it gets to the heart of the show, which is that Tomi, he really is unique among illustrators in the sense that he worked in so many different genres. Not only did he work in children's books and also did these erotic drawings, but he also did incredible political posters protesting the Vietnam War and against sort of racial prejudice in the U.S., which political causes that he's continued to be involved with to this day.
So we're talking messages of social justice?
Messages of social justice, yes, extremely important to him. Also books of satirical drawings. He worked in advertising. He did a lot of advertising campaigns. So really you're going to see a kind of look into all these different aspects of his work together, really for the first time in the U.S.
Very exciting. And he grew up in Alsace, France.
He did.
Under Nazi occupation at the time. So how did that, tell us about some of his experiences and how that's reflected in some of his work.
Yes, I mean, he was a bit removed from sort of actual violence, but what he experienced was basically repression. And first, Alsace was ruled by the French. The government was French. Then the Nazis took over when he was about 9. So he went from speaking French to being forced to learn German in the space of 3 months. And then after that, when the sort of French came in and the French liberators came in, he was then forced to unlearn his German and was sort of labeled a dirty German. So he experienced firsthand basically the idea of intolerance and repression. And that sort of has fueled the rest of his work to this day, that basically what he believes in is freedom, justice,
He's a champion of peace and humanity, also animals. Can you talk about his embrace of the animal world?
He's actually worked for I guess not the ASPCA, but the sort of European equivalent.
Yes.
And I think it's sort of all these characters in the world, that are kind of unrepresented in a way, all the sort of underdogs, sort of literally speaking. And there are a lot of animal characters in his children's books, and also sort of unusual animal characters. So there's a book about a snake. He was not the sort of warm and fuzzy stuff for Tomi. He was willing, to take the snake and make him a central character, or a kangaroo that has wings and therefore doesn't fit in. So it's always about these kind of characters that are sort of on the outs, that don't fit in, and then allowing them to take center stage and really become heroes and heroines.
Very interesting. And tell us about some of the work that he did while here in New York City, and we're going to see some of that too.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You will see drawings from his sort of classic children's books, such as The Three Robbers, Moon Man, also the Mellop series, which was his first series of children's books.
And he wrote those while in New York.
Yes, he wrote all of those while in New York. He wrote his first children's book while in New York.
And those books were so successful. Why? I mean, talk about the following and what they sort of attracted.
I mean, I think, well, first of all, they were definitely sort of brave and unusual. He really, along with Maurice Sendak, really changed the world of children's book publishing away from this idea that it all has to be cuddly and friendly and sweet. He actually introduced fear into children's books because he
some of them
believed
were a little scary,
weren't they?
scary.
He actually believed that it was very important to introduce fear to children, not to shield them from things, but to allow them to confront
Willy
it.
Wonka, are you anywhere close by? That one sure scared me.
Oh yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
How did the parents feel about that? They were buying the books, I assume, for the kids.
You know, I mean, I read his books as a child, actually. So my parents bought me his books, and so they embraced it, and I think. You know, I think actually people were looking for that at the time. They were looking for something different. So, you know, the children's books were immediately a huge success.
Well, the big question, where is Tomi now? He's 83 years old, we hear?
He's 83, and he lives in Ireland. Yes, he actually moved to Ireland from Canada in 1976, and he has been living there ever since. He has developed a kind of passion for the Irish people.
Will he travel
to
participate?
Yes, he has come. He has come, and
has he seen the exhibit?
He has. Yes, he has, and he loved it. I mean, he loved it. He has been he's been a big champion of the show and of me, and working with him was really a wonderful experience. He is not only an incredible artist, but an extraordinary human being, as you can tell from the many kind of projects that he's been involved in.
How long did this project take for you to just put together?
Actually, about 4 years from the conception, because
to get all the work together.
To get all the work together, and just to sort of figure out what my approach was going to be, because there is so much work, and there's so many ways one could do the show. You could focus just on the children's books or just on the political drawings, but I really felt like this was the time to show the whole thing, because really that's sort of the point now.
And people are excited about it.
Yes, it really seems to have struck a nerve with people, even beyond what I was expecting. I knew that he had his followers, but I didn't realize quite how many.
How does Tomi feel about being back in New York after what happened to him the last time around?
He feels really good about it, actually. He loves New York. He has always said that New York is his favorite city, and that he has a deep affection for New York. I think it was just at that time he really needed to leave. He needed to do something different, to go somewhere else. But he has maintained a great love of New York. So I think it's very nice for him to be
What's
back.
the best way for us to find out about the exhibit, and how do we find out about you?
You can go to our website, which is www.drawingcenter.org. Is that right? Okay, we have someone in the studio that I'm checking with. So I think the best way is to go to our website, and all the information about our opening hours and how long the exhibition will be up is available there.
And it's March.
It will be up through March 22nd. It's actually currently already on view and up through March 22nd.
Awesome.
Good
Sharon,
stuff.
It's a day?
It's a day.
I love it. It's
Excellent.
A good day. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
And you're watching Arise Entertainment 360.